In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking owned.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Exactly. Well, speaking of nothing.
Getting drunk,
I guess. Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name's Mason Knight. That's Cash Kraus. And Cash, we're here to talk about the long-awaited, the very anticipated film of the year.
Yes. Your most
the action
anticipated.
film of the year.
Your most anticipated
I told
film.
you this was going to be up for multiple awards.
You were telling me, and even today you doubled down on it. I said, Mason, we've seen the movie, and
What
you
are
said,
your thoughts?
You said, I'm doubling down. It's Oscar worthy.
Yes. I thought Sylvester Stallone had the performance of a lifetime.
Yes.
Though I could not understand one piece of dialogue throughout this film, given by Sly Dog himself, I still thought it was a great performance.
His face is melting off his body. I thought he had a, it was hard to understand when he was younger, but now that he's getting kind of the jowls and whatnot, it's getting a little more difficult. You know why his face is like that, right?
No, I don't.
Oh, it's a unique story, an odd story.
Really?
When he was being born, his mother was giving birth in hospital. They had difficulty pulling him out, I guess, of his mother's womb.
Whoa.
And they used tongs. Medical tongs, which I'm pretty sure are just barbecue tongs.
I think just without the rigid edges.
Yeah, and so the doctor had to pull him out, and they pulled him out by his face with the tongs. And
oh my God.
Apparently did permanent nerve damage to his face, and that's why he actually, I think it is that his face actually is numb, and that's why he, and that's why he got talks like that. Yeah,
I never knew that.
Yeah,
that's insane. What a terrible doctor.
Oh, horrible! It was
like
in New Jersey.
Yeah, what are you grabbing a hot dog out of like a this isn't a hot? It's a human being.
Well,
you
the doctor
can't just
was like,
clamp his face and be like, well, here we go, pull.
I gotta golf at 3. We gotta get this thing moving. Get those tongs, and he just went to the cafeteria.
You can't miss your tea time.
Luckily, they were having ribs at the cafeteria that night, so he took tongs. And I know quite a bit of Sylvester Stallone trivia. He had a wild life. First movie was a softcore porn.
It was.
Italian Stallion. And speaking of acting,
yes,
I would say Rambo Last Blood is right up there with Italian Stallion as far as acting goes.
Okay,
for this one,
really?
Yeah.
So you're comparing his acting abilities to the Rocky films for people who don't know who the Italian Stallion is. So you're comparing both Rocky and Rambo together.
The name of his porn was the Italian Stallion. That's what they called him after because of that.
Okay.
Yes. They called him that after.
Right.
That was his name for the porn.
Oh.
Yes, because he's Italian. Yeah. I'm comparing this Rambo to that softcore porn.
And what is your verdict?
For the porn or for this Rambo?
I'm curious for both. I'm not gonna lie.
The softcore, it's nothing.
Not good. Not even worth watching. But what about this Rambo film?
About the same, I feel. I feel like if you're gonna watch one, maybe hop on old Pornhub and Google it. It's free, and you don't gotta go to a movie theater and pay.
That is true.
But this movie, it was a little disappointing for me because I kind of did. This one is one I really wanted to be good.
Same.
Because we thought it was gonna be the last fucking Rambo. Is it gonna be the last Rambo?
No, because in 2 years we're gonna have The Last Blood Part 2.
And Sylvester Stallone cannot say no to a possible sequel.
Of
He
course
cannot let a franchise die out.
No.
He's gonna fucking kick Hamster's ass in the new Creed, and he's gonna be fighting again.
He'll do some celebrity boxing thing where he fights like an old
He'll be fighting.
Apollo, or not Apollo, but you know,
maybe the ghost of Apollo. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he cannot, and
he fights Dolph.
And that was a big thing, was the story and everything, and us going in there thinking he's gonna close it off. This is gonna be dramatic. The whole time watching it, I was gonna be like, he's gonna let these fucking guys. These guys are no one.
Yeah,
they're literally
just
no
like
one.
Pieces of shit who just traffic women.
They're not super soldiers or anything. I thought if he's gonna die by someone from his past. That's also a badass. But we didn't get that in here.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, and
we didn't at all. And it was so weird, man, because I felt like there was an hour and 15-minute build-up for everything, and then just out of nowhere, it was one scene.
Yeah,
they went to the house, and then the next scene, it's like all the action, and then the movie's over. And I'm like, what? Hold up. We just spent an hour and 15 minutes building this whole movie up, and then we didn't even get like a. I wish there would. A lot of times, Cash, we say this in film where we're like, dude, we could have cut out 20 minutes of this movie. I thought we could have had 20 more minutes explaining how this was all going to go about.
Yeah,
yes,
it was just
I know they had Rambo's ID, but it was like, that's it? That's all we're doing here?
I know,
and
it was just crazy. Crazy for even the cartel people to even come on American soil and just wage war on this guy. When again, why didn't they just be like, well, I mean, it happened. We just gotta forget it and just move on this one. We're not gonna go risk our lives for what? Some old guy. They didn't even know who he was.
No, and I know that he killed the Ramirez brother. He killed one of them, you know.
Yeah, but you just killed his daughter.
Yeah, exactly. So blood for blood.
So blood for blood. I mean, the cartel's got to know that better than anyone, right?
I mean, they deal in it.
They're in a risky business.
Very risky.
But yeah, that's. Again, you say we could have added 20 more minutes, but I think you could have took out 90% of this film because it's really, like you said, just built up for that last scene of.
And like, I thought as far as like the gore and the action, I thought they executed it very well. I do have to say.
I do not like the CGI blood, and it was 99% CGI blood.
Absolutely,
it's too much. It looks cartoony. It doesn't look.
CGI blood's not the same.
And even they used CGI blood they even used CGI when it was like when they showed the cartel brother, his head. That was all CGI, and it looked like, why not just get a fake headless body, and use it. It takes like a day to make like a latex mold of someone's head. They used to do it all the fucking time for old movies.
Yep.
People getting their heads chopped off all the time. You can't do that now in 2019. They use CGI for everything,
right?
Even the body, and I thought that looked kind of cartoony.
Well, and that's the thing too. I'm very curious to see the budget here was $50 million, so you had an ample amount of money to be able to make those special effects.
Oh, it had to have been more.
You could have taken, even like 5% of that budget and just spent it on good visual.
I'm guessing
or special effects.
Did Sylvester Stallone get $40 million for this? Because this did not look like a $50 million movie, in my opinion.
No.
They used real small, like, wasn't anything big or anything. It was like explosions on a farm, and then I guess maybe shooting in Mexico. Did they actually go in Mexico and shoot? Maybe that was a little.
I don't think so. No, because it was just like the landscapes, like where the. And that was the thing too. They didn't have a lot of locations. It was kind of
exactly.
Just
So
three.
I'm like, where's this $50 million going?
I don't know. It's very strange. I don't know where that $50 million went.
Yeah, because there wasn't anyone else that you've ever seen in a movie in this.
Exactly.
Movie.
I was about to bring that up. There were no stars in this film either.
There was
so
the Mexican Jon Snow was the bad guy. He looked just like fucking Jon Snow.
Strange, wasn't it?
It was very odd. And he died. He didn't. Well, I don't want to spoil Game of Thrones for anyone that hasn't seen it, but yeah, there was no one else in this film. So that $50 million, like, what'd they make the first Rambo for?
Wasn't it 15?
Yeah, and I think that looked
15, and then
I think that looked just as good. Did it not? I mean,
and it looked incredible. And the chase scenes were awesome. We talked about that.
Yeah, they didn't
Rambo
have a single chase scene in
First
this one.
Blood.
Yeah,
episode, which was so funny because you just told me today. You're like, "Hey man, on YouTube, our review for the First Blood says Last Blood," and I was like, "Oh shit." And then I went there and I just changed it, but it is confusing. Yeah. when there's 8 or 9 movies, Cash, you got to give me a little grace there because it's
and we did go. So you haven't watched our review for Rambo First Blood? Go back and watch that.
Yeah,
because we did. But I think that watching that movie really even hurt my opinion more watching this movie.
I completely agree because we actually like Rambo the First Blood.
Rambo First Blood captured something that not a single Rambo has been able to capture since. It turned into just at first, Rambo First Blood, it's got heart in it. It's
awesome.
dramatic.
I love it.
It's all about the Vietnam War and about PTSD and dealing with
those
that.
messages too, yeah.
And about the ill treatment of Vietnam soldiers. And now it's just a generic chop 'em up.
And that's
There's
kind
no
of how
story.
I felt too. It was super generic, this film.
Yeah.
It was like everything was just kind of leading to the next so we could get to the climax, which is literally Rambo just on a killing spree.
Exactly.
Which was pretty awesome. I mean,
was
besides
cool,
the CGI
but it was
blood,
it was
awesome.
literally
and I like
the only. I mean, it was the last 10 minutes, and yeah, it was the best 10 minutes. But I mean,
right. I also liked. I love the callback to the original film, and this is. For all the negative things we'll probably say about this film, there were a few positives for me. One, I love how they went back to booby traps because Sylvester Stallone's like 73, 74 years old. He's an old man. So realistically, him getting in a bunch of fist fights,
but you wouldn't think
the
it, man.
shit out of people is not real.
He's way more built than he was in that original
I know.
Rambo.
He's jacked to the
doesn't-
tits. You look at the original Rambo and now, and you're like, what?
The original
hell?
Rambo, he looks like a real soldier.
A real, yeah,
Like,
just a
now
meat and potatoes kind
now
of.
he looks like he's been working out 364 days of the year just for this one day, because he's fucking just like, what is he, just sitting at that farm just lifting weights?
Just working out on the farm, I guess.
How does he have time for his horses?
I have no idea. Well, he doesn't have much time for him. He sent him off running here.
Yeah, I'm like, what was that? I mean,
well, he did that to save him from the explosions.
I know, but aren't they just
because
like,
PETA would have been all over
aren't they
his
like
ass in that film?
broke-in horses? Are they really going to do so well out in the wild at this point?
That's what I thought too. I'm like, man, you're kind of leaving that to chance. I mean, better chances, but not much better. Kind of hoping someone picks him up somewhere.
Yeah, and the first thing that popped up is how right the sheriff was in that first movie. At this point, if he would have just killed John Rambo, he would have saved
probably 600 lives.
I mean,
out of all the films.
Do you want, what's worse than being a sheriff and having in your jurisdiction some crazy Vietnam PTSD guy up in some farm out of the middle of nowhere? He's got tons of guns.
Yes.
He's one bad dream away from snap. He's building
underground tunnels.
These large tunnel system under what I'm assuming is the entire city of Arizona or wherever the state is.
And even like his niece daughter kind of thing.
This
whatever.
is cool. Yeah, this is totally normal. This large, vast tunnel system.
Yeah, let me bring all my friends down. We're just going to have a little party underground.
Yeah, and he's like, and you're like, well, what do I tell him why you're building it? He's like, tell him the truth. What's the fucking truth?
Why do we have these tunnels? It doesn't make sense.
You're definitely expecting a war, and to have that in a town in USA, the sheriff's got to be worried about it. And there's no cops, especially at the end. So I'm guessing maybe they just said, we're not going up there to fucking Rambo's estate.
Yeah.
We're not risking it. We know what happens, what he does to sheriffs that try to just
bypass that.
Watching
entirely.
that first movie, you think this sheriff is insane. Why the hell he just had the foresight that this guy is gonna be
He's bad news for everyone. You know what's crazy about this film too? Did you know that like the storyline for this film was supposed to be used in the 2008 Rambo, but wasn't?
Really?
Yeah, and instead it was actually changed, and it was also partially used for Homefront, the film in 2013 with Jason Statham.
Oh, really?
Statham, whatever.
I never saw it, just in their shitty action film.
Exactly. But they ended up going with that. They ended up using it primarily for Homefront, and then he came back to it in like 2019 for this.
Well, like I told you, I was telling you before, something odd was people in UK apparently saw a different movie or different. They had
tell us about that. That's
apparently
crazy.
They were saying there was a 20-minute intro that they cut out of our version, where he is it's a flash flood, and he's saving people with like the cops. He's like working with them, and he can't save like 2 of the 3 people he's trying to save, and they drown, and then he gets super. That's what starts triggering his PTSD again, apparently, because when we see him, he goes down to the tunnels. I'm like, why are you building tunnels if you have PTSD constantly?
I know, Ian.
Because as soon as he goes
to Vietnam, when it's like guerrilla warfare, you're like under the ground and everything. That can trigger.
Are you trying to trigger like? And apparently, just the intro made a lot more. Apparently, it even shows his dad for the first. I don't know if it shows his dad in any of the other ones. Apparently, it shows his dad. It shows that his dad liked the Doors a lot, and that's again, it's a reference to later on we get the Doors song. which doesn't
5-1.
when he's because when he puts that on, it doesn't really make sense.
No, it doesn't. But dude, I was jamming because I'm a huge Doors fan. So when that song came on, dude, I was freaking out. I was like jamming in the theater. I was singing it.
It doesn't make any sense for him to just play that. But apparently that intro had ties in throughout the entire movie that kept tying into that intro. Apparently they said, we don't need that. People don't want story.
I like the song because it does make sense for that specific scene. Because you listen to the lyrics, 5 and 1, baby, 1 and 5. No one here gets
you
out
think
alive.
that's going through Rambo's head?
Well, no, I just mean for the audience, the song makes sense while he's killing everyone that nobody gets out of here alive.
Yeah, but it would make a lot more sense if we saw a flashback of him and his dad, and his dad's playing a record.
No, I'm not debating that one. Yeah, for sure. It made no sense.
For him to be in the middle of this battle and to him run to his record and put on a record and then run out there.
Strange that he
it doesn't make a whole lot of music. I mean, for the song, for what you're saying, the song should have just played as the score of the movie, not him putting it actually on.
Right, absolutely.
But because when I saw it, I'm like, well, it seems like they are kind of trying to reference that because he did run and put that song on. It would have made a lot more sense, I thought.
Again, we could have had those flashbacks.
And again, the movie was only an hour 30 minutes.
Right. It wasn't like you were pushing time, like you're like, man, we got to wrap this thing up in an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because the film was actually 89 minutes in its entirety, which is 1 hour and 29 minutes. They could have added.
And even though that I didn't like a large portion of it, it felt short to me.
It felt very short to me. I'm like, oh my God. Because we were like an hour in.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this movie's about to, and
it's
then
about to end.
He's like gearing up for the end. I'm like, oh, he's gearing up. This has got to be the end, right? I'm like, because we'll get into it. I mean, it's
short.
It's a wacky story just to start out, just to get him to Mexico with who's the family he's taking care of? Who are these people?
I have
on
no
the
idea.
farm.
It was like his niece or something like that. It was so strange.
But there was no real relation, right? I mean, because he wasn't related to her dad.
No, but it was like his uncle or something. I don't know the relationship. It was weird.
I don't think it ever. I mean, she called him Uncle Rambo or John or whatever, but I don't think that there was any. They never explained the relationship at all. I don't get why. Why was he on that farm in the first place? How did he get to the farm?
Right.
I would have liked. He just moved in with these Mexican
people.
family, and I don't. And the whole thing with his niece going to Mexico to find her dad that abandoned her, and the dad just immediately
still a piece of shit. Yeah, and they tried to tell her too. They're like,
I thought for sure they're gonna tie him into the cartel in some way.
Same. I thought he was gonna work for the cartel.
Nothing.
Had nothing to do with that whatsoever.
And
instead, it was her shitty friend. And I knew immediately her friend was going to do that.
And her friend who's wearing the most stereotypical cholo.
Could it be any more stereotypical?
Did Sylvester Stallone do the wardrobe?
The big eyebrows. Yeah, I was like, dude, come on, really?
At some point, you can see, because this movie has been getting a lot of heat.
Really?
For being racist and
stereotypical.
Yeah, and we're being xenophobic, and we even joked about it before how he likes to go but this one they say really, and I think that's kind of part of it with the dressing of the really stereotypical. It's not. I don't even think it was as much as the violence, just him. Killing hundreds of Mexicans.
You can say it's racist, but the cartels are a thing.
Oh, absolutely,
it does happen. It is in Mexico too, so that's not a racist thing to do. But maybe the way that
portraying Mexican people as
that's where it's different.
Yeah, that might be. I think I didn't read into it
because I still think it's an acceptable thing to talk about cartels because it is a real thing, and sex trafficking is a real thing that happens in this.
Yeah, they're cartels. They're bad
world.
guys. Yeah. I don't.
But it was the way that it was portrayed.
I think so too. I think so too. But again, that's just 100% what I'm forming right now from, because I tend to not read into those things because I didn't think the film was overly racist. But I did chuckle when I saw her come on screen, and
it was totally.
And
really...
even the way she acted, they must have been act really stereotypical Mexican gangster, because she acted in such a funny, goofy way that I don't think real people act. But I thought that was a little laughable.
And it wasn't for me. It's not like an issue that I'm like, oh my God, how dare you? You know, it wasn't a
No,
big,
it was just funny.
right,
It was just old people.
You could tell. That was all it was, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And if you look hard enough at anything, you really can, but...
No, and I don't think Sylvester Stallone or anyone was gearing
intentionally
to...
doing it. Yeah, it's just...
Because they could have been, I think, definitely more overtly racist, and this film gave them opportunity for it.
It definitely did, yeah.
And
especially the trajectory of where the story was going. So.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, it's not... And even, like, the guys in the cartel didn't act like his niece's friend or whatever. They weren't all cholo or anything like that.
They weren't.
They acted like what you think probably normal head cartel guys would act, but
in those scenes, man, where they got all the girls lined up, those were, I actually felt very, like, those were good scenes. Well-acted scenes, in my opinion, because, like, all those girls looked terrified.
Yeah.
And... You know, you get later on in the film when they're breaking through and all the girls won't even leave.
I thought that was good too, yeah.
They'll kill me. And that's so true, man. I mean, when you live in fear like that, when you do one wrong thing and they like cut your finger off or something for it, you're terrified for your life at all turns.
Oh yeah, and in real drug trafficking, or not drug trafficking, but sex trafficking, they almost always make those girls do drugs, so they
they're
get
dependent
them, so
on
they
them
get
as
them.
well.
That's a big. It only showed that as like a punishment that they're doing to the knee, but they do that to everyone.
Regularly.
Yeah, because
they need the fix too.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do? They
rely on
terrible and sick.
Oh, it's horrible.
They make them have sex and then they give them the drugs kind of thing.
Exactly.
And it's brutal, man. It's so sad. It's so sad that kind of shit actually does happen on this earth.
Oh, it happens it happens here in the United States.
I know it does.
People get trafficked all the time.
Well, bro, I mean, just recently down in these Walmarts, there's this lady, and I've seen it posted multiple times on different fronts, like Voice of whatever. And it's this lady who comes in and she says that she's broken down. And then there's two guys who come out of the car.
Oh,
and they like try to kidnap people just here, 20 miles away from us.
Oh, when I went to Clark, they had to give everyone flyers because people were targeting college student girls at Clark.
Exactly.
At Clark.
It's so dangerous, man. It's scary.
Crazy. And they ship them off. And it's crazy that it happens in these times, in 2019.
2019.
When it seems like you can't get away with anything. But people get away with it all the fucking time.
I think for something like that, maybe I shouldn't say this because it's not good, because I do believe in due process and everything. But when you do something as sick and fucked up as that, I think there should be no room for anything. You should get life in prison. I think if you were caught for sex trafficking, life in prison or executed. I really believe that, man. It's so disgusting.
Oh yeah,
you're ruining people's lives, man.
It's a tough. I don't think you're in the
minority there.
You're taking a strong stance, but I know.
Yeah, you can see.
So like, I got to disagree with you, Mason. I think
man,
give him a second chance.
You're overreacting here.
I'd say throw him back out there, let him get a second. But yeah, I mean it's horrible. But it does happen. It absolutely does happen. It's scary, but it's just that much scarier for women. We don't have to worry about it at all.
No. And not even to the same degree. And that's the thing with women too. Like it must be scary, dude, in a lot of ways.
You gotta be scared of everyone.
Yeah, because men are just naturally stronger. I mean, in the vast majority, unless you're talking about Amanda Nunez, she'll knock my ass out. But majority of women are smaller and men are stronger. So like you are in constant, and me and you will never go through that.
And people always get mad. Oh, these women, because the fucking incels and people, they call them all bitches because they're scared of everyone and they're cautious of everything. I'm like, I think they have good reason.
I think they have very good reason. I mean, at any time, like a man can overpower, a majority of men can overpower women, and that's a scary thing.
Yeah, and people get mad that women can be rude, but I'd say if you think someone's gonna sex traffic you, you have the right to be rude. Be rude.
Watch your drinks at all times at bars. Don't trust anyone. Like
and we especially, I've never had to worry about my drink getting.
No,
even though it does.
I mean, who wants to sex traffic this?
Exactly. Like I leave drinks just. I'm trying to get whatever people are.
Me. Trying to have a good time tonight,
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking for that Cosby bulletin.
Yes.
But seriously,
that was
we
good.
never
that
have
good.
to. Yeah, exactly.
I want to make sure.
But we never have to worry about that shit.
No,
I mean,
we don't.
Men do get drugged. I mean, it does happen, but it's just not something
not even
that doesn't even cross
extent
my mind now. But yeah, I mean, imagine having to cover your drink up every time you leave.
I know. And then like
it's wild to think about, but people have to do it.
That's the world that women actually live in, especially when they go out clubbing and stuff. It is dangerous, and that's why girls always go like groups of two and stuff, bathrooms and all that. Because
that's what happens to old John Rambo's niece, Gabriela.
That's why we're bringing it.
What is she in that club for 0.2 seconds?
When you see the eyeballs of all the men,
I didn't think she had a drink yet.
No, she had one drink, and then we
she
see the roofies floating in it, or the fucking drugs,
Yeah, she goes in that club for half a second. I mean, what a wild club.
Very wild. People are getting drugged everywhere.
It's a cool club, though. That club was rocking. You got Mexican
always better in
cowboys.
film.
They're in there. They're doing their thing. They're drugging a lot of people, unfortunately.
A lot of people. People are just doing coke,
If a guy
too.
is dressed up like a cowboy or some kind of farm rancher from, like, the 1800s,
And he's
maybe
not on the
should
farm?
be cautious.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's wearing spurs, and it's 2019, and he
he's in
drove
a
a truck
dance
here.
club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be a little cautious for sure. But yeah, she gets drugged immediately.
Immediately.
And her friend, of course, throws her into the bus.
Right? She doesn't do anything for her. And she, you know, the stupid excuse, I got too drunk that night. No, you were working with these guys.
I'm not even sure if she got anything out of it besides the bracelet.
I think that was it. I think that's all she wanted,
I think
though.
she might have just done it for fun.
Well, remember when she
was
came and
jealous.
visited
She was
her
bitter.
friend? Yeah, she looked at her bracelet and saw that, and it was a close-up. I mean, it was right on the nose, don't get me wrong. But they did a close-up of the bracelet before they even went to the club.
Yeah.
So she knew
Well,
what she
and
was
they
doing.
did a close-up of her friend, like, staring
Staring at the club,
directly
being like,
down
yeah,
at
I think
like,
a little
making
drool coming out of her
Yeah,
mouth.
and her friend was like, "Oh, okay." Or Gabriela, she started like, "Oh, all right, you're really staring at my wrist a lot.
No, well, you like this?
It's not for sale."
I mean, my mother gave this to me, but
Yeah, I really thought Rambo, because eventually Rambo finds out, and his daughter does get she gets trafficked.
she does immediately. And her friend doesn't seem to give a shit,
No, it's just another day in Mexico, I guess.
I guess. Yeah.
And yeah, they get trafficked, and John finds out. I thought he was gonna beat the shit out of the girl.
I thought he was going to kill her.
Me too.
I thought, I
Well,
mean,
Rambo, you don't kill women. You tear through these towns, murdering anyone.
Anyone
You
and
can't kill
everyone.
this cartel woman that she's trafficking people.
and she literally trafficked your
Yeah.
whatever,
Oh, he's too
foster
good for
daughter,
that.
wher, whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah.
we'll just, for sake of argument,
Well, he
just say
calls her
daughter.
his daughter
too.
at one point.
Yeah.
So it is really confusing, and
It
it
is.
adds on the confusion that they never explain the relationship at all with him and the family.
Not really. No.
I don't think he had a sister, so I don't think there's any blood relation.
Yeah, it's his inherits his late father's horse ranch in Bowie, Arizona, which he manages with his old friend Maria. So they're friends.
Well, that's his
And her
dad's ranch.
granddaughter.
How do we know that?
That I don't know. That's just exactly. We don't know.
Like,
We have no idea.
I was seriously asking, like, did I miss something?
No, I don't
Did he
remember
get the
hearing
de-
that.
Like
but
that
maybe he
sounds
brought
like
it up.
that sounds like it might have been part of the 20-minute portion that they had that showed his dad, because there's no mention of his dad in the version we saw, right?
No,
There's not.
not that I
was
saw.
looking for maybe news articles.
something.
Because I'm telling you, it tells us nothing about this ranch. I thought he was just like a farmhand, and he started working on this.
But it does say that it's Maria Beltran and her granddaughter. So yeah, that's the relationship there. It's just a friend's granddaughter
That he just
that
was
he
like,
kind of adopted as a father.
this is my family now. He's a dangerous man to have around your kids. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah, I would say you got to watch it.
They love him, and he does have a sweet setup there. He just
does.
goes in, Mexican grandma's cooking him meals and everything. That's fucking sweet.
It's a good life.
I'm not sure where he's living. Does he live in the house? Does he live under
I think he lives underground still. I think
You gotta be scared.
he's a basement dweller.
If
for
a
the
man
rest
is
of his life.
tunneling, again, a vast tunnel system, you can't have him around your kids.
But if it's not broke, why fix it?
I think it's broke. I think
He has lived a long and
prosperous
luxurious
life.
life.
I don't know. He's got to be a wanted man in many countries.
Yes, I think that's why he does live underground.
But yeah, these tunnels, he's just been digging. He's a little mole man these days.
He
'cause
is.
They are a large system of tunnels. It's like the dairy tunnel system under that bitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then he goes, of course, his reaction, he's going to go, and being the smart super soldier he is, he just walks right up to the cartel.
I know. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, really?
The Rambo who took so many precautions, booby trapping an entire forest, is
Just
just going to...
wings it. And it was like, yeah, a hand pistol will do.
Super soldier. He just walks.
And there's literally 40 of them.
Yeah.
And they don't kill him. Which I had a
know.
hard time believing. I was like, why are you letting him live? Just to let
The
him...
cartel has never let anyone
Anyone
live.
live.
I mean, you can just like cross a cartel member. He's like, that guy's got to cut his head off, hang him from an overpass.
You
but
show
they're
up
letting
5 minutes late to a delivery, your head's off.
Oh
That kind
yeah.
of thing. Even if you brought all the cash, they're going to decapitate you.
absolutely,
They do it
man.
for fun. It's a hobby.
Oh, they find mass graves all over Mexico.
It's
all the time,
dude,
and they do it.
Have you heard about that one house that had like over 100 bodies
And in the walls and everything.
walls and
Yeah.
everything.
That's
Ugh.
I'm guessing that's
It's
where they got
kinda based off of
Sicario.
Sicario, yeah.
Oh yeah, but they find they find out in like the desert just hundreds of bodies headless, and they hang them from like I made the joke, but they hang them from overpasses all the time.
do.
Bodies, yeah,
Yeah, it's a very common thing.
They're not. There's no. I mean, they're not scared of the
dude.
law.
I watched a documentary on it where they would have like detached limbs and decapitated and stuff, and they leave them out on the street a certain way.
Yeah,
The detectives who show up, if it's in the middle of a road, spend less than a half an hour investigating. They clear it up, and the roads are back open.
Oh, you got it.
It's like they don't.
Gotta
They
get the traffic
investigate, but they don't. It's like
yeah.
they know who does it, and, it's done.
It's not a mystery.
no
It's
one-
not Jack the Ripper doing
Right.
that, killing hundreds of people at a time.
But it's like there's no law at all.
Now there's nothing.
It's just like,
well,
okay,
it's all because
you
it's
know
all
who did it.
just
It's
so
done.
corrupt. Yeah. If I was America, I'd be pumping just money into security and stuff over there, and
Same.
just you gotta clean it up.
Yeah.
But it's all about the corruption. You gotta start with the corruption in the office and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't need to get into Mexican politics.
No,
'cause
we don't.
Not experts.
No,
by
we're
any
definitely
means.
not experts
I'm
in
getting all my
Mexican
information
politics.
from what
From
I saw from
Wikipedia.
Rambo Last Blood. But yeah, he goes over there, and of course he gets his ass kicked in.
Well, yeah.
Let's talk about the mark they left. I definitely thought this was gonna leave a larger mark.
So did I.
He's like cut it deep, and the cut makes it look like he's cutting through his like cheek into his mouth. But 3 days later,
And
it's
it's
like a
I
paper
know.
cut.
And they got like some, it's sewed back
yeah,
together.
and man, that
That's-
thing healed fast.
It does heal fast. I know within 3 days.
He's
it
like,
was,
how long
almost
have I been
completely
out?
done.
I'm like, you think you still even need a bandage on stitches after 3 days? A severe cut like
it was
that.
a deep cut too.
Oh, it was old.
He did it to the daughter too, and it was like stitched up the exact same
and
way.
it didn't look that bad on her
No.
either. Like that's.
Not very wise.
I know, and he's like, make it deep too.
Yeah.
And he's in there. He's like using his full
I
body.
know.
to-
He's,
One day later, and it's. I guess
well,
you
that's
can't.
a superhuman Rambo.
That's the moneymaker too. You can't scar that beautiful,
No.
beautiful, disfigured face up. But yeah, he gets his ass kicked, and he meets a journalist at one point, and this journalist.
Oh, she follows him out of the club. Remember, because Rambo goes to the club just to catch us up to who the journalist is. Goes to the club. He follows the cowboy guy home. Remember, and then or not home, but to his car, to the truck. Stabs him and says, "Where the fuck is he?" He's like, "They're here." And then the journalist comes out. She watches the whole thing and follows Rambo.
We didn't talk about him
I'm like,
breaking the
what?
guy's bone in the truck.
Oh,
With him, like I don't know anatomy.
No, neither
And
do
I'm
I.
not a doctor, but it didn't seem to make much sense.
It did
What
not.
bone was he breaking? It looked like it was a rib in his goddamn
It
shoulder.
did. Yeah,
And
he
he
was like
pulled it.
grabbing.
Yeah.
I think it was his collarbone, honestly, because he was like snapped
I don't know,
it.
but
and he's
he
like,
literally put his hand in and broke it with his. Wild. You think
Rambo
he just?
still got superhuman strength. That's for sure.
I never knew he was superhuman to start out with.
Well, there you go. Surprise.
That seems like a bad interrogation tactic. I would probably just pass out from
From the pain, from the
pain,
excruciating pain. Yeah, guy's pretty tough.
The
And he
guy
got
had a bone sticking out, and he was being very nonchalant about it towards the
and a
end.
knife in his leg too, and not just any knife.
Knife in
Rambo's
Did he stab him both legs?
Yeah, stabbed him hard too, all the way in. Brutal. Probably died bleeding out, man.
He'd probably
honestly.
die in minutes.
Yeah.
from
Well, yeah,
that.
think about it. You hit one of those main arteries in your leg, you're done within
Yeah, and he
5
stabbed
minutes.
both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that guy lived a while.
He did.
Actually, I think that guy actually ended up living. Did he never kill him?
He didn't kill him. No, he just left him afterwards. But he was in bad shape. If he did live, it's a long road to
He
recovery.
was in bad shape. But yeah, he meets a journalist, and this journalist to me had almost 0 point of being in the movie at all.
None at all. In her motivation to just like, she was just sitting at the bar drinking a beer. She looks over, sees
I thought it
Rambo,
was gonna
and she
be
just
like his-
immediately knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? There's a million people in this bar. How do you just know what this guy's doing?
And they like build
Wasn't
it.
even a
They
bar, it
build
was a
it up.
nightclub.
They build it up. Never see her again.
Right. Not for a long time anyway.
Well, I mean, and even when she gives him the address, like that couldn't have even been hard to find. I guess maybe the people don't want to see Detective Rambo. They just want to see him killing, so they had to have this person. But even then, she's like, her whole thing was like, my sister died. I want revenge, or she wants to take him to court. You never get anything after. Rambo just kills all of them, so she's not really getting her due justice.
Not really, no.
But Rambo definitely just uses her for. I mean, I thought there may be like a love thing or anything, but
I thought there might be something.
To me, it felt like they cut a lot of her scenes out of it, because like she had this whole thing about the cartel took her daughter, or not her daughter, but her sister.
Her sister, and then she ended up dying from a drug overdose when she found her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she had this big background, more background than we've gotten from any Rambo story, and we ended up not getting much from her.
No.
She just gives them the address, right?
Mm-hmm. And then we see her like sporadically throughout, but it was like for little things after she saves them.
Yeah. She had no, I mean, she didn't really move the storyline. I felt like they could have just had Rambo figure out where the cartels are. I mean, that can't be
that hard, especially not Mexico.
I don't think they're hiding.
That's the thing too. You could have done more world building where Rambo's going like to place to place to place real quick, and like figuring out how the cartel works, the ins and outs, and then defeating them that way would have been sick. It would have been cool.
Or he could have went back to the fucking club, got another guy, tore his collarbone out, and just asked him where the fucking. Instead, he went to the cartel's house, got the shit kicked out of him, was in a coma for 4 days, got his niece killed. I mean, just think if he didn't go to that cartel's house, gotten his shit kicked in, and then went into the coma, he could have just went straight and saved her.
Yeah.
She died because he was in that goddamn coma. Well, Rambo, you really botched that one.
He screwed that one up big time. But it could have been more like Cold Pursuit with Liam Neeson, where that one was like he went, he investigated, killed the guy.
No, it seemed like the director had a doctor's appointment. He had to get out of there real quick without.
Right, it would just seem like a very rushed job.
He's like, we got to speed it up. No story, no anything. It was
like you had 10 years to work on this too.
Yes, I forgot about that.
The last film was 2008. So you filmed
they were not working on this for 10 years.
No,
I think 2 months ago they went to a guy and were like, can you throw this together? Do you know anything about filmmaking? You're like, I don't know much.
Not much, but let's throw this thing together.
I'm really good at making CGI
I'll
blood.
Spend it somewhere.
Yeah. But again, and he got knocked out, and that's when his niece is getting raped, unfortunately, many times.
Many times, yeah.
And they're just because he's been out for a goddamn week because he had the foresight to just walk up to the cartel's front door.
Like, what was he gonna do? Just ask for her back? I mean, like, come on, man.
I don't know.
Just walk up to the compound of a giant cartel and not expect there to be security or people watching.
What do you think?
It's a well-oiled machine.
It's going to be more secure.
Yeah. And with all the cartel wars that they have amongst each other, they have high security.
And with them constantly kidnapping people, you got to be thinking there's a lot of angry dads. You got to keep security around more.
Exactly. It's not just a free-for-all.
No, Rambo thought
he did not think that one
there
through
was
at all.
going to be one guy, and he's going to snap that guy's neck, and we're going to bounce back out of here. We're going to hit the ranch. It's going to be super cool.
Great.
We're going to hit the tunnels.
No one will even know what happened.
And but no, he leaves his wallet. I mean, they get his wallet. They have his ID. They have anything. He gets nothing out of that first encounter.
No.
But a beating.
But an ass whooping. And a real one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was funny. The group of guys, there's like 50 guys beating him for people I haven't seen it. And like a couple times they'll pan out, and there was like an old guy. Like, I think they just had everyone in the town beating the shit out of, like, there's some old guy in the group. Like, I think maybe the old drunk just saw a group. He's like, I gotta get in on this.
Get in on this, yeah.
Oh, town beating? I'm all about that, and he got a couple kicks in. He got a couple licks in.
And I love how all 50 guys, when they all circled Rambo and they all drew guns. And I thought, if one of them fires, they all fire, they all kill each other. I mean, they were in a giant circle.
I don't think any of those guns were loaded, and especially because they left or they didn't kill Rambo. So I mean, one guy has a gun. He should have killed him.
Someone should have.
But the cartel, it's most
so weird. How
it's the most stereotypical, tropey Hollywood action film of the bad guy letting the good guy live.
Yeah. Because he wanted to be like, oh, you came and had the audacity to try to save your daughter. Now you'll know that.
Now you got to live with it.
Now you got to live with it and know that every single day she will be tortured, raped, and that she's going to have the same mark that you have.
Take a look at the man you just beat up. Covered in scars. He's 78 years old. He's jacked to the teeth.
Yes.
You got to be thinking this isn't just some regular dude off the street.
This isn't Joe Schmo, I mean, this is fucking Rambo.
Yeah. But they don't give a fuck.
Rambo don't play no games.
They let this guy live. That's the one guy you shouldn't have let live. Literally
totally
anyone else. Let them live. Let them go. They're not going to come back
Most
like Rambo.
people are like, well, I tried.
Not Rambo.
Not
He's
Rambo,
all about
but-
second chances.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he gets the shit beat out of him. Eventually, he does find his niece. Right.
He does,
Through the
yes.
journalist.
Through the journalist, he goes to a whorehouse. Or I feel bad saying that.
Yeah,
But
because they're not.
but it is like a.
It's a brothel.
It's a brothel, but I mean,
they're
all the
not
women
by
are drugged.
choice, yeah.
It's not by choice, but I don't know what else to call it. So for lack of argument, that's what we're gonna call it: a brothel with women who are held there against their will to have sex with men. But he shows up there, and I actually like this scene. This scene was cool. Where
Well, because it's an action scene.
yeah, and it was realistic though.
Yeah.
It was funny because there were 3 guys, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I want a girl." He comes in, busts the first guy, and then the first 2 don't even get an opportunity. Pop, pop.
Hammer.
Yeah,
It's hammer time.
Or it's Hammer time. I wish they would have played MC Hammer.
You think that movie has? Do you think this movie can? No, this was a very serious movie, Mason. This was This was a drama.
It was a
And
drama.
He needed his niece back, and it's very, very serious. But
Well, it
the
is close
hammer,
to-
the hammer was an odd choice to me. Where'd he get the hammer?
I don't remember. Yeah, that's right.
He just
Where did
had
he
the
get
hammer. He just had the hammer. He
it
did.
on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did that work?
I don't
didn't
know.
even ask questions. That was it. I just saw some cool
He
action.
went to
and
Home
I was like,
Depot.
I like
Probably
this.
went to Home Depot first, and
Probably true.
started smacking around. But yeah, he does. He beats the shit out of him with the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Couple hammer strikes. That'll do you.
Oh, it'll do you in good.
And they took his Rambo knife also.
They did. Yep.
One of the brothers, the cartel brothers, because they're run by 2 brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They took his knife also, but yeah, he ends up hammering down a couple cartel people, and he gets his niece back. Odd Choice doesn't take her to a hospital.
No, instead he's like, we're going
We're
right
gonna
back
do
to
the
the ranch.
9-hour drive back to Arizona.
And this was the thing too. He checked her when he found her at the brothel, obviously against her will, but he checks the arms, and there's heroin marks everywhere on her arm.
Covered.
You think, OD maybe they might try to be
Was he
killing
gonna
this lady?
nurse her back?
Yeah, to health. Like,
Does he
what
have
was your
any
thinking
medical
here?
knowledge?
None.
He was gonna take her just home.
Especially not for drugs. You need other drugs to counteract.
Mexico has a lot of cartels, but they also have hospitals.
They do have hospitals, and I mean, yeah, the cartels could have found her, but this was before.
But then she
you
would have
killed the
at least
brother.
had a chance to live, though. That wasn't the
she
whole
would-
point.
A much better
Yeah.
chance of living. Instead, he's just like, "Yep, we're gonna cross the border. We're going right back home to
Long
Arizona."
drive, it seemed.
Long
road
drive,
trip.
but you know what was so weird is like the drive to the border seemed like a hop, skip, and a jump away. You know, it was like literally the first time when the girl Gabrielle goes to Mexico, she was like, "I'm leaving." She drives, and then the next
there-
scene she's at the border.
It's an hour. It's an hour long. Yeah.
It was like okay. But then when Rambo went to go drive back to Arizona, it felt like the trip took 5 hours. Yeah. It's like all day.
It was just a botched job on his part. There was a
Yes.
lot of things that he did wrong that could have saved her life. I think had the grandma known some of these finer details,
She wouldn't
maybe
have
she'd
been
be
so
a little
happy.
more angry at Rambo
For
than
sure.
she was the cartels because, again, got beat up, got in a coma. That made her stay there for like 4 days longer.
Made her get raped many times.
Many times.
And drugged many times.
Ton of heroin.
Yeah, a
ton of heroin. He got her in the car,
Had an
saved her.
opportunity to save her.
Could have even went to a town over. Not even the
Exactly.
same town.
Or you could have called up the journalist. She could have brought over the same doctor that patched him up to help her.
I forgot about that.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, the journalist who you can trust.
That you can trust. Yeah, because she's on your side. She's on your team. That wasn't even a thought while your foster daughter's ODing
he was just
in the
thinking, we
car.
got to get to the tunnels. The tunnels.
The tunnels are safe.
Rub some dirt in it. You're gonna be okay.
We're gonna rub this one. Everything's gonna be fine.
Back to the tunnels. I gotta get back to my tunnels. Yeah, tunnels didn't help in this case, and she just died in his arms.
She died in his car. Yep. Which was a little surprising to me. I didn't think she was going to die.
I didn't think they were gonna have the balls to kill her off.
Yeah, neither did I. And then she passed out, and I was thinking, oh, she fell asleep.
Yeah.
And then Rambo's like, Gabriela? You know, he's like freaking out, and I'm like, oh shit, she died.
Yeah, I
died.
know, but when she died, it was just so wacky. You know, again, you're like, we're expecting it. So like, oh, she's just dead.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Oh,
Well, and
that's
then,
it.
and then Rambo's like, yeah, we're still going to the ranch. And he drives with her corpse.
And I'm like, Rambo, do you know when people die, you do have to contact someone?
Not him.
You
He
gotta.
just
There's
buried
Social
Gabrielle
Security.
right off the land, man. And did you see the
And
other
the grandma
tombstones?
had no questions.
None. Didn't ask anything. It was so
your
weird.
weird uncle that has been building tunnels comes back with your knee. I mean, she knows that she was in Mexico.
Of course.
That's as she has no cartel knowledge.
None.
Nothing. She literally thought she went there to see her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And
but I will say, in all fairness, the grandma did know that she was missing, so she knew something bad would happen to Gabrielle.
I know, but I think if they would have just called the cops, they would have had a better chance of.
Mexican police, so you don't know who you can trust in that scenario. I think just calling the journalist and getting that doctor
but it
over
took
would
him
have been the best scenario.
5 days.
I know.
5 days. I mean, Grandma could have gone down there and maybe had worked things a little faster
That's
than
true,
that.
yeah.
5 days. I mean, she probably didn't expect him to go down and get his shit pushed in
His
and then have
shit rocked.
a coma for 4 days. Why is Grandma was waiting. She was patiently waiting. I mean, at some point, a grandma's gonna call the cops, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not
Right.
gonna trust because. I mean, it was literally Rambo. He just said, "Don't call anyone. I'm gonna go." You give Rambo a day,
Yeah.
2 tops, 3 days. You gotta call. I mean, just give
Call
the effort.
someone,
Just
yeah.
give the effort, right?
It's a 48-hour rule, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm sure American cops would at least have liked to known
Of course.
that someone was missing from America. There's none of that in there.
No.
I don't even know if cops exist in this world.
I don't think so.
Because even after the big fight at the end, no
Well, I
cop
think Rambo
cars.
killed them all.
I know. Again, I think the sheriff's heard what he's got a track record with sheriff. It's not like
no one
sheriff.
goes out on that property. No.
Yeah, we just don't go up there. And he leveled that property. Again, millions of dollars in damages. Just, he's a nuisance.
He is.
He's not helping at this point.
No. Guy's been through a lot in his life.
You know,
Poor Rambo.
Yeah, he should have been locked in a hospital, a state hospital.
After the first one?
First one.
Yeah. Should have been locked away forever. But no,
Years
they
of-
needed him in 9.
He's never
for
been
the second
through a
one.
day of therapy. They've never even attempted it. I mean, he's taking pills in this one, but he throws
is.
those out pretty
Oh,
damn
he was
quick.
like, I don't need this shit. I'm Rambo.
The one thing keeping him sane.
Insane, yeah. And that was just his immediate, like, nope, no more.
Yeah, but
So yeah, she dies.
she dies, but they have his ID, so the cartel, they gotta go track him down now because Rambo went back to kill one of the cartel's brothers.
And we got to talk about this. The pacing of this film was so strange to me because it was again, and I brought it up in the beginning, but it was an hour and 15-minute build up, 15 minutes of action, boom, movie's over. And this is really the turning point where I was like, holy shit, can we slow down here? Because literally, Rambo bringing Gabriela's body back, they bury her. Next scene, he's back in Mexico at one of the Martinez brothers.
Why did he not kill both the brothers?
No idea. Just decides to
It
kill
seemed like
the
he
one
just wanted
first.
the use of the tunnels. He's been building these tunnels for years. You got to get some kind of use out of them.
Yeah.
Because, like, why not just go? You think you'd be so angry, you wouldn't be like, I'm going to kill this guy.
You know
but
what
then
it was?
But then I think the other guys are going to come back, so I'm going to set a bunch of traps and Home Alone their asses.
I think, in all honesty, I think it was vendetta against that particular brother because that was the one who took the knife and carved his face in it. And if you notice, he beheaded that man and stuck his Rambo knife in his chest, his dead body's chest. And then with the picture of Gabrielle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was Rambo's personal vendetta against him, knowing that the cartel would get him at home. I didn't.
Yeah,
have a
but what, you
huge
just
problem
thought he
with
was
that. It
cool
just
with
way
the
too
other
fast.
brother?
No, I definitely didn't think that. No, it was a message, obviously.
Yeah.
You behead someone in their own bed.
Yeah, but I mean, two cartels, both of them, because both of them were talking about his girl when he got beat up, and he
Yes.
knows that both of them were talking.
Right.
So you think he'd be like, I'm going to go kill him, then I'm just going to go kill him, we're going to get this done. I mean, we don't have to go dance
Yeah.
around. Like, I'm so angry right now, I'm not going to strategically play cat and mouse with these guys.
And this is another thing.
But again,
too,
it is a
like-
movie, but
Yeah.
but I mean, to say that it's a movie, I mean, there's movies that make good action films that don't make these stupid tropes. So I don't think we should.
And there's a
be
lot of
too light
movies
on
too
it.
that have a lot of good fine detail. In
Yes.
them. Like a Del Toro film or a Scorsese film. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like,
Or a John Wick film. That's an action film.
Yeah.
You can have a movie that's 100% action, and still have a good story. You can tell a story through action.
Exactly.
I mean, Fast and Furious, but a Furious Road. Mad Max is the
Yes.
same thing. That movie is all action. Still has an amazing
hardly
story.
any dialogue throughout
Still
the
has
whole
a great
thing.
story.
Amazing story. It was awesome.
They say 3 words in it. By the end, you're almost crying.
Mm-hmm.
They said nothing. So we can say, oh, it's a movie and whatnot, and kind of
but it doesn't really justify.
I don't
the poor
think it
writing.
does. No, I don't think it justifies it. Not in this case, at least.
No, definitely not. So yeah, and then so we get that scene, the death scene, and then we get the decapitation scene, and then the next scene, literally right after this, the cartels are heading down to Arizona, and I'm like
they're in Arizona.
And here's the thing too, like with cartels, all you have is an address. What did they Google Earth this? So they knew that it was a ranch that they could go to. What was their idea? What if he lived in a town,
an apartment
in
complex,
an apartment in Arizona?
in a townhome?
Were they just going to take 8 cars and just fuck up an American apartment? You know what I mean? Without any
And again, they are the
retaliation?
cartel, but we do have border security. So many are, and again, like it
And they all
didn't
just
show
got
them
through,
at the
no
border.
problem. Nothing, dude. It was just they were in Arizona the next scene.
If
and
it's
I'm like,
that
what the
easy, why
fuck?
are the cartels digging so many tunnels to get drugs through if they can just
Right
come on
right
over
through. And
they're
all the
geared-
weapons. They had
Not even
fucking
weapons, but they're in
guns,
like
man.
military like outfits.
Attire, yeah. And
No, we
no
said,
border
hey,
security.
bring them on in. They're cartel.
It's just that was what irritated me a little bit. I like the action scenes and I love the booby traps and stuff, and like
There's too many instances of the director just assuming that we're just gonna be okay with these things.
Exactly.
It
That's
kind
what
of
it is right there.
it kind of makes it kind of to me it kind of infuriates me because I'm guessing because to me it makes me think that they think we're stupid. I mean that we're dumb and that they can just show and people will just assume that this is just how it works out.
Yeah.
And we'll just sit here like mentally deranged people and just watch him be like, oh, okay, and
Okay,
just
this
dumb.
is- yeah.
Well, I'm fine with that, like fucking robots. But like, I mean, it's bad filmmaking to me.
It is.
It's
It
not
is.
knowing your audience either. I mean, just
well,
assuming that.
I would say it is knowing. I do disagree slightly with that because they do know their audience. They do know the Rambo audience because
Well, maybe it's underestimating your audience. Because even
Yes.
if you like action films, and again, I think you could be a Rambo fan. I'm a Rambo fan, but I don't like any of the other Rambo films.
isn't that interesting? Yeah.
So I mean, I'm a big I love the first one, but to say because I'm a Rambo fan that you can just put 45 minutes of action and I'll be fine with it.
yeah.
Just
And-
because I like Rambo.
Yeah. And
I'm
I've
not an idiot.
Right. And I've talked to, and I think they know their audience to a certain extent. And I'll tell you why. The older generation who grew up on Rambo, what they love about the Rambo movies is just the gore and violence. So I talked to my dad after this because we have talked about this on the First Blood review that both of our dads really loved Rambo growing up. My dad didn't
growing
love
up.
this film, but he said he enjoyed it. And I do have to say, for all of its faults, I like the action scenes, and it almost made up for all of the questions that I had in regards to just going and having fun. But as far as like an actual movie, I did leave disappointed in the storyline of Rambo. I thought the action was good, and I thought it was very realistic for a 70-year-old man and what he was able to do. But just in general, it wasn't a great
I agree what you're
story.
saying, but I agree, and even some of the action scenes, I questioned his. I mean, like even at the very end, the climax is they all come and he's running through the tunnels because he gets them into the tunnels. You're thinking of your cartel. I'm not going to those fucking tunnels. I'm not going to risk going down there where this guy knows the entire system. And
Yeah.
But even the scenes where like he put guns everywhere, right? And,
But you got to also look, when they have 35 guys, you think, we're going to kill this guy.
yeah, but I mean, I'm immediately thinking this guy has dug tunnels.
I would
I'm
ask
getting all
questions.
kinds of red flags.
Yeah.
I've never met a guy in my life that's dug tunnels.
Especially
and
such
if I
intricate tunnels
and
like
if
this.
I did meet a guy that dug tunnels, I think
wouldn't go down
there's something wrong with this man. He's digging a lot of tunnels.
Why is he so fascinated
It's
with
not
being underground so
normal.
much?
It's not
No,
normal.
It's not. It
But,
could be a problem.
But not even that. But like him like putting the guns everywhere, and like when he's shooting people, he'll put like 9 bullets in one person, and small deals like that infuriate me because he didn't have any more bullets for it.
but that-
so every gun he would shoot, and then he
Yeah.
would just throw down. Like I mean, you could have used one gun and be like, but it's
I kind of like that better, though, because it was realistic as far as shots. But the action scenes were also funny. And I think they were meant to be kind of funny. Because, dude... when
I don't
he
think
di-
so. I
Are
don't think
you
they were
sure?
meant to be. No.
Because when they fall through and they're spikes and they're clearly dead and Rambo just takes the machine gun and fucks up their bodies.
No, I don't think
we were all laughing. We thought it was hilarious.
Yes, and I think you're supposed to be thinking, oh, that's badass.
Well, it was badass, but it was also funny at the same time because it's like, dude, he's lighting up these corpses at this point.
Yeah, but to me, if you compare it to the first film, it's not. I mean, he's not even the same Rambo. In the first film, Rambo would never have wasted time to stand over a body and shoot
it
because
when
he's a
it's
soldier,
already dead.
and a soldier would not do any of those things. I mean,
I think it was personal vendetta this time, though. I think that's what was different. I think it was someone that he loved, so he wanted all these motherfuckers to suffer in the worst way.
I know, but in my mind, if he wants to kill all of them, he should kill all of them first,
and then
maybe go back
their corpses.
Because what if he was doing this and some guy because he didn't know where there's 50 guys, he didn't know where every guy. What if some guy just wandered off and saw him and just put a bullet in his back?
Put a few rounds in him.
Rambo, you gotta be thinking, you gotta be smart. I get that you're angry, but as a super soldier, he's supposed to be the best of the best.
He is. He's supposed to be.
He's a Green Beret.
He is. Can we talk about this though? The IMDb score for Rambo right now with 8,270.
That's
7.0. That's
the
not
anchor
bad.
though for IMDb.
It is. It is.
I mean, you can get damn near. I mean, it's bad. I mean, it's bad both ways because there's some films that will have 7, and because great films can't get past that 7.6.
No, they can't.
IMDb.
It's very hard.
It's odd, but IMDb that's all user.
Yes, but you also have to have an account and be part of the IMDb.
You just have to make an account.
Yeah. That is true. I guess that's all you have to do.
Yeah, so I mean,
because
it's 8,000. That's 8,000 reviews. There's not 8,000 critics. I mean, that's all you. That's like Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes right now for this film is not.
But it has a
nearly
good
as nice.
user.
It has a very good user score though. Yeah, it's at 28% with the critics, but the user score right now, the audience score is at an 85.
85. Yeah. So that's IMDb people.
So let's wrap this bad boy up. Basically, at the very end, dude. Let's just talk about the end. He obviously we know how this works. Rambo decimates everyone. Kills everyone
real quick. Does a very dramatic final kill with the bad guy. 4 arrows, pins him up like a doll.
Yeah, that was awesome in the barn.
Yeah.
Classic Rambo. And I knew it was going to be gruesome. I knew that kill at the end was going to be. And when he stuck
because he said he was going to take his heart out.
Yeah. And he just cuts his sternum all the way out. And in Rambo fashion, like Indiana Jones, just sticks his hand right in the man and just rips his beating heart out.
That's the way to do it.
Pretty gangster. It
is gangster.
If you're going to kill someone for revenge, the best way to do it is to rip their heart out while they can still see it.
And you got to think, because this one is on American soil, cops will be involved at some point. You have 50 bodies, and
and a lot of explosions. No one heard that anywhere.
This guy has his heart taken out. At this point, do they have to lock him up?
Given the circumstance, I understand.
50 bodies on American soil, 50 at least.
They're all cartel members, though. And they came on his property and trespassed. So I think he would be okay.
No.
Dude, yes.
This guy's
because they came ready to lock and load, man. You get 50 cartel members with guns coming and shooting at you first on your own property on American soil.
Unless they connect the dots that he went over to kill that cartel guy
but at the same time, they captured his daughter. Or whatever, his foster daughter. It's still whatever.
I know, but you're not just allowed street justice. You got to go through
I give him a little justification. If that happened in real life and this old man fucked up 50 cartel members, I'd be like, well, 50 dead bad guys. I'm cool with it.
Oh, I know, but even if you knew his extended history
with killing
violence,
police officers and stuff.
Do you think at any point this man can be around regular people?
No, that's why I say you stay here on your property where apparently there's no house for 10 square miles.
He's still killing people, even though he's out in the middle of nowhere. He still manages to kill people. Like, you got to connect the dots.
You do.
Like, okay, Rambo, you've terrorized an actual town, a city in the 80s.
Definitely.
You did that.
The town's not so full of hope anymore.
No, that town's got to be still devastated by this. And now you've killed...
Name the town from hope to devastation.
They need to, because Or they probably just closed the town. There's not many people left in it.
No, not these days.
Man.
I'd be a little worried that that mass murder is going to come back around.
Huge police force they had, though.
Very big. Helicopters and all.
They needed it, too. They saw that coming.
They saw the writing on the wall. They said,
Again,
these Vietnam guys coming
every
back.
Rambo film I see, I'm more and more on the side of the sheriff. Every
You
Rambo.
understand his views now more and more.
Oh, yeah. At first, you're thinking that guy is just off his case. But now you just see, I mean...
He saw the writing on the wall, didn't he?
That someone had to put that old dog down.
They did.
And they did. They let him live, and since then he's killed. I'd say thousands.
Definitely.
I'd say he's up there with he's got the highest body count.
Oh, by far. I don't know who else has a higher one, and who's been around as long as Rambo has. I mean, we're talking 40 years, man. 40 years this guy's been roaming the earth.
And he's not doing it in like wars. I mean, he's not doing it like for an army. He's doing it places that we're not in war with.
No.
So I'm like, if you saw a guy that was in the army that had like 1,000 kills, like that would be crazy, right?
It would.
But the Rambo's got 1,000 kills, not in any army.
And probably...
And we're not counting Vietnam kills.
1/3 of them is just civilians. I mean, basically, or just people.
Just people. They're not soldiers, that's for sure. Well, Mason, what's your view on this? What's your
Okay, I'll go first because I know mine will be much higher than yours.
I think it's gonna be.
It will be. So, like with Rambo again, Rambo has a special place in my heart. I love Sylvester Stallone. I love his story, man. I mean, we haven't talked about Sylvester Stallone, but like with the Rocky movies, like I give a lot of credit to this guy and his life in general and the things he went through in order to become the star that he is. So I think a lot of the reasons why I love Rambo, I love Rocky, is because like I love his story. His story on how he became famous is just, it's awesome. But the reason why I bring that up, this Rambo film for me, I had a lot of problems with the pacing of this film entirely. We had a lot of questions about it. I will say at the end, the payoff was almost worth it for me as far as the action and stuff. I really enjoyed it. I thought parts were funny in like an absurd way where he's just, firing bullets into bodies into corpses. It's so strange for me. And I'm not a movie critic. I don't consider myself a movie critic. I consider myself a movie fan. I love fans of movies. And I have a lot of weird criterias depending on what franchises it is and stuff. I'm biased towards this franchise. I love it. I recommend this to people if you like action movies and you don't give a damn about a good storyline, but you just want to see Rambo fuck up some people, go and see it. For me, this film missed on a lot of aspects, but the action was fun. If you just want to go have fun in a theater, go see this movie. I give this movie a C-.
Ooh.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, I like action films. But to me, any movie that takes me out of the movie is not a great movie. If I'm constantly being taken out of a movie to me and I'm thinking this like I give leeway because real life isn't as interesting as a movie or anything. So you have to make it, you got to juice it up a little bit. But it's got to still be, if it's based in our world, and it's playing by our rules.
Yeah.
To me, it has to still,
abide by those rules.
It can't pick and choose like something. So every time I'm taking out a movie, if it's bad CGI or anything, I like a good movie to me is a movie that you're just 100% immersed in. Mm-hmm. I guess that's my real criteria is movies that I'm just absolutely. Is after when the credits roll, I kind of got to be like taken out of it, I got to be like that to me. And I was taken out of it a lot. And the action scenes, they were good, but I think you could see action scenes that are just as good in almost any generic action film. I mean, like any Jason Statham film you see has amazing action films. I say Jason Statham just because he has so many action films.
A ton.
But and Mark Wahlberg does a few of them too, where they're like they have great action scenes, but they're movies that you would never remember or even probably watch twice.
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah.
I think I know where your review is.
So I gave this movie, I gave it an F because I'll never watch it again.
An F.
I'll never watch it again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Failing grade for the last.
I never watched the last Rambo. I only ever saw it once, and I will never in any instance watch this.
I haven't seen,
unless it's on TV or something.
Yeah, I haven't seen the 2008 Rambo in a while, but I remember being like, "Oh my God, this is gory." I mean, you remember the little kid being thrown into the fire, the little infant.
Yeah, we were also in 9th grade.
That's true. Yeah,
And I thought that movie was maybe almost 100% geared toward ninth graders.
I think so. Yeah,
Because I remember as a ninth grader, I was like, oh yeah, but even as a ninth grader, I thought maybe the story was, but it was gory. I think if that was what they were going for,
and brutal.
then yeah, they hit the. But it's not. Again, I don't think it's really difficult to just have a movie that's overly gory. I mean, anyone can just bring a bunch of blood into.
I would love to watch that movie again and see how I like that 2008 Rambo.
Me too, because what I read from some people on this one, they were saying even every Rambo even has some kind of aspect that you kind of like, but people were saying for this one there wasn't any of that.
There wasn't. Not
like
for
they
me,
said,
really.
they said for like the second Rambo, because the first one was him dealing with PTSD and everything, and the second Rambo was like him dealing with the Cold War, I guess.
Well, and then him saving POWs.
Yeah, exactly. And in the third Rambo, it even kind of heats up where he's go like Afghan or something.
Yeah.
And then even in the 2008 Rambo, it kind of shone light on like Burma and everything and how it really is. And for this one, I just don't think it had any of those redeeming qualities. But that's what. And I haven't seen the second or the third Rambo in a very long time.
Neither have
But
I.
people were saying even those ones have some kind of redeeming qualities. So, but yeah, like you said, I'd like to go back and kind of rewatch maybe that 2008
Same.
one and see,
I want to see if I still liked it as much as I did when I was a kid,
because that is one that
because it shocked me.
Yeah. So maybe I'll go back and watch this one, and because how long has it been? 11 years.
11 years.
Yeah. So maybe I'll go back and watch this one in 11 years just to relive and to see if I missed anything. But yeah, I haven't seen that Rambo in a long time. What is that Rambo called?
It's just called Rambo. That's it. It's literally just called Rambo, and it's an hour and 39 minutes.
See, he looks so much older just from this, from the Rambo we just saw. I mean,
He looks way older. I mean, he looks really good in this. Look at that.
He doesn't even have wrinkles. Yeah, I mean,
No.
he looks very aged in this one.
Yeah,
and I remember in that 2008 Rambo, I had some problems with it, but
Yeah,
that
he looks
picture,
really
that
good
meme
here.
that's a pretty
This
famous
one?
meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, looks, because remember everyone was freaking out how big he was in that because he was just steroiding it up, man.
Yeah, he was.
But even that one, I had a little more. It was a little more believable.
It definitely was. Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, I can't. That's surprising to me seeing that picture because he looks decent in that.
He does. He looks real decent. And that's the famous throat ripping scene, right?
We never got a throat rip. We did get a heart rip out,
rip, which is a step
you
above.
Yeah, you got. What's he gonna rip out next?
I don't know.
Brain.
Oh wow! Just
How do you get in there?
God
I guess he can break bone with his hands because he's
I'll
super.
just start calling him Hannibal Lecter. He's just
might have
eating
it, yeah.
brain and stuff now. So yeah, that is our Rambo review.
That is a Rambo review.
It is. We should wrap this bad boy.
We
up.
should.
All right, guys. If you liked what you saw here, if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like this video. Comment below. What did you think of Rambo Last Blood? Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Hit the little bell notifications. You'll get notifications every single day we post a video. We post 5 days a week. We have movie reviews, movie news, TV Tuesdays. We do trailer reactions. We've got so much going on our YouTube channel, guys. So be sure to check that out. You can find our podcast on audio format, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Spotify is a big one, too. A lot of people use that. So go check us out there, or Apple Podcast. Social media pages, Twitter, Seen It Podcast. Cash is on Twitter, that's just Cash. Instagram, Have You Seen It? Facebook, Have You Seen It Podcast. Be sure to like our page there. We post memes, funny stuff, artwork, all these different cool movie things. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Kraus. And until next time.
Adios.